Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Poppy's bittersweet freedom. Build too much of a reminder of Luna? The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Katie Logan, Heather Tom, was right about Luna Nozawa's, Lisa Yamada, paternity. However, Katie was wrong about Penelope Poppy Nozawa, Romy Park, being a killer. Once the whole truth comes out, Katie could feel terrible about Poppy's ordeal. Katie might also finally green-light Bill Spencer's Don Diamond romance. Poppy might get out of jail, but could Bill be too much of a reminder of Luna? Keep reading and let's chat about the possibilities. Katie Logan's insistence. B&B spoilers reveal that Katie kept insisting that Poppy was bad news. Katie was in disbelief that Luna was Bill's daughter. Katie questioned it from the very beginning. However, Katie's focus was on Poppy instead of Luna. Katie was fearful that Poppy could be after Bill's money. Then Katie worried Poppy might be a black widow. When the full truth comes out, including how the paternity test was faked, then Katie might feel awful for what she put Poppy through. Katie and Bill do have history, but she just might truly care for him as a friend and Will Spencer's, Crew Morrow, father. B&B spoilers. Luna Nozawa's deception. Over with Luna, she has Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline Massinswood, in a cage. Luna has been telling Steffi how she fooled everyone. This includes how Luna ordered a fake paternity test on the internet. As the week of September 2 kicks off, Luna will share more secrets with Steffi. So by the time that Steffi is rescued, we should have answers to everything. Poppy Nozawa's freedom. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that after Steffi's rescue, Leigh Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, faces off with Luna. It's said to be a fierce showdown, but will Luna end up in handcuffs or a body bag? With how evil Luna is, including framing her own mother, there might be zero hope of redemption or treatment. Luna seems determined to fight to the death, so this might explain why Poppy is devastated on Friday, September 6. Not horrified, not shocked or angry, but devastated. It sounds like Luna might die during that last stand. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Bill Spencer's loss. Even though Poppy will be cleared and get out of jail, the freedom will be bittersweet. How does Poppy go on knowing her only child is dead? Poppy will also need to process how she couldn't have seen how dark and troubled her daughter was. While Bill will likely welcome Poppy home, could he just be too much of a reminder of Luna? Although they weren't father/daughter, it would be hard for Poppy to look at Bill and not be reminded of Luna. After all, that is who made them a Fox family. While the paternity test wasn't real, the feelings and experiences were. So where do Poppy, Bill, and Katie go from here? Poppy Wheeler stared out the window of her small, cozy apartment, the late afternoon sunlight filtering through the blinds, casting a golden hue across the room. Her heart was a storm of emotions. Freedom was sweet, but the aftertaste was undeniably bitter. The echoes of recent events lingered in her mind, each memory a sharp reminder of the high cost of the freedom she had so desperately craved. Just days ago, Poppy had been released from custody after what seemed like an eternity in legal limbo. The charges against her, stemming from the chaos that had engulfed the Forrester clan, had been dropped. But the relief she felt was tempered by a deep-seated unease that gnawed at her, refusing to let her fully enjoy this new chapter of her life. Poppy's thoughts drifted to Bill Spencer, the man who had been at the center of so much turmoil. Bill had played a pivotal role in her release, using his considerable influence to ensure the charges didn't stick, but his involvement was a double-edged sword. On one hand, she owed him her freedom. On the other, he was a constant reminder of Luna, the woman who had become the focal point of Poppy's tangled emotions. Luna. Even the name sent a shiver down Poppy's spine. Luna's presence in Bill's life had been like a shadow, a specter that haunted Poppy every time she looked into Bill's piercing blue eyes. There was something about the way he spoke about Luna, the way he defended her, that unsettled Poppy. It was as if Luna had a grip on Bill's heart, one that Poppy couldn't compete with, and didn't want to. Yet the more she tried to distance herself, the more entangled she became. As she sat on the edge of her bed, Poppy's mind raced with memories of the past few months. She had arrived in Los Angeles with dreams of a fresh start, eager to carve out a life of her own away from the shadows of her past. But the city had other plans. Her involvement with the Foresters, and by extension, Bill Spencer, had been nothing short of a whirlwind. What had started as a simple job at Forrester Creations had quickly escalated into something far more complex and dangerous. Poppy's feelings for Bill were complicated. She admired his strength, his ruthlessness, and his undeniable charm. But she also knew that being close to him meant being close to Luna's memory, a memory that loomed over their every interaction like a dark cloud. Every time Bill looked at her, Poppy couldn't shake the feeling that he was seeing someone else, that in his mind she was a poor substitute for the woman he had lost. But it wasn't just Bill's connection to Luna that troubled Poppy, it was Luna herself. The more she learned about the enigmatic woman, the more she realized how much they had in common. Both had been drawn into the Forrester orbit, both had complicated relationships with powerful men, and both were struggling to find their place in a world that often seemed too big and too dangerous. Poppy had tried to push these thoughts aside, to focus on the future rather than the past, but it was easier said than done. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Luna's face, heard her voice, felt the weight of her presence. It was as if Luna was haunting her, a ghost that refused to be laid to rest. Poppy knew she needed to talk to Bill, to confront the feelings that were tearing her apart, but the thought of that conversation filled her with dread. How could she explain what she was feeling? How could she make him understand that while she was grateful for his help, she couldn't continue to be around him without being reminded of Luna? And more importantly, how could she tell him that she wasn't sure she wanted to be a part of his life if it meant living in Luna's shadow? The sound of a car door slamming outside jolted Poppy from her thoughts. She crossed the room and peered through the blinds, her heart skipping a beat when she saw Bill's black SUV parked outside. He was here, and there was no turning back now. Poppy took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. This was it, the moment she had been dreading and anticipating in equal measure. Bill's knock on the door was firm, decisive. He was a man who didn't hesitate, who always knew what he wanted and how to get it. Poppy envied that about him. She opened the door slowly, forcing a smile that she hoped didn't look as strained as it felt. "Poppy," Bill said, his voice warm but with an edge of concern. "I wanted to check on you, see how you're holding up." Poppy stepped aside, gesturing for him to come in. I'm okay. Just trying to process everything, you know." Bill nodded, his eyes scanning the room as if assessing her state of mind by the surroundings. He had that way about him, always calculating, always aware of the bigger picture. It was both comforting and unnerving. "You've been through a lot," Bill said, his tone softening. "I just want you to know that I'm here for you, whatever you need." Poppy bit her lip, trying to find the right words. How could she tell him that what she needed most was distance? That being around him was too much of a reminder of everything she was trying to escape. "Bill," she began, her voice trembling slightly, "I appreciate everything you've done for me, really, I do. But I think we need to talk about Luna." Bill's expression hardened, his jaw clenching ever so slightly. It was a reaction she had expected, but it still sent a chill down her spine. "What about Luna?" he asked, his tone guarded. Poppy took a deep breath, steeling herself for what she knew would be a difficult conversation. "It's just, every time I'm around you, I feel like she's still here. Like she's between us, even when she's not. And I don't know if I can keep doing this." Bill's eyes narrowed, and for a moment, Poppy saw a flash of something in them, pain, anger, regret. She couldn't quite tell. But then it was gone, replaced by the steely resolve that Bill was known for. "Luna is gone, Poppy," he said firmly. "She's not coming back. Whatever you're feeling, it's just in your head." Poppy winced at his words, even though she knew he was probably right, but that didn't make the feelings any less real. "I know that, Bill. But it doesn't change how I feel. I'm not saying this to hurt you, but I can't ignore it anymore." Bill sighed, running a hand through his hair. "So what are you saying? That you want to walk away? After everything we've been through?" Poppy looked down at her hands, feeling the weight of his words. "I don't want to walk away, Bill. But I also don't want to be a constant reminder of what you lost. I think we both need some space to figure things out." For a long moment, the only sound in the room was the ticking of the clock on the wall. Poppy could feel her heart pounding in her chest, each beat echoing the uncertainty that hung between them. Finally, Bill spoke, his voice quiet but resolute. "If that's what you need, I'll give it to you. But know this, Poppy, Luna might be a part of my past, but you're a part of my present. And if you're willing to give us a chance, I'm not going to let anything or anyone stand in our way." Poppy looked up, meeting his gaze. There was a fire in his eyes, a determination that made her heart ache with longing, but she knew that she couldn't make any promises right now, not until she had time to sort through her own feelings. "Thank you, Bill," she said softly. "I just need some time." He nodded, but she could see the disappointment in his eyes, the hurt that he was trying so hard to hide. Without another word, he turned and walked to the door. Poppy watched him go, her heart heavy with the weight of the decisions she had made. As the door clicked shut behind him, Poppy let out a long, shaky breath. She knew that she had done the right thing, but that didn't make it any easier. The road ahead was uncertain, and the path she had chosen was fraught with challenges. But it was her path, and for the first time in a long while, Poppy felt like she was in control of her own destiny. The days that followed were a blur of emotions for Poppy. She threw herself into her work at Forrester Creations, hoping that the demands of her job would distract her from the turmoil in her personal life. But no matter how hard she tried, Bill's words kept replaying in her mind, and the memories of Luna continued to haunt her. It didn't help that Bill kept his word about giving her space. He had always been a constant presence in her life, whether through a phone call, a visit, or a late-night text. Now the silence was deafening. Poppy had thought that this distance would bring her peace, but instead, it left her feeling more lost than ever. The more she tried to focus on the future, the more the past pulled her back. She found herself revisiting old